Hi, I'm Billy Harrison, 29 years old. I design mobile games for a studio in Portland. Last Christmas, I drove back to Beaverton with a warm pie on my lap, snow piled on the lawn, and lights wrapped around the porch. One of those scenes that tricks you into thinking family is simple. I barely made it up the steps before the door flew open. My dad stood there. No smile. No welcome. He didn't even step aside. "We don't want to see your face," he said. Behind him, my younger brother, Colby, leaned against the hallway wall, arms folded, smirk already loaded like he'd been rehearsing for this moment. I stood there with cold air on my back and warm pie in my hands. Then I smiled, small, quiet, the kind that comes out when something in you breaks perfectly clean. "Okay," I said and went back to my Civic. That night, while I ate a sad grocery store dinner alone, my phone blew up. Missed calls. Voicemails. Unknown numbers lighting up my screen. And that's when it hit me, this wasn't a bad Christmas. It was the start of the real story. The part where 3 years of secrets finally crawl into the light. The part where the quiet kid stops being quiet. Part 2, the 3-year drain. Growing up, we never had much. A cold rental. A furnace that worked on its own schedule. Mom worked retail at Target. Dad did warehouse shifts until his knee gave out. After that, he lived on disability checks and daytime TV. Colby was the golden child, my little brother. Tried one semester at community college, dropped out, and announced he was building a brand. Gym selfies. Motivational quotes. 47 followers. Half bots, 2 family. I got out the long way, scholarships, loans, weekends spent working instead of sleeping. When I finally graduated and landed my first game design job, Mom cried. Colby asked me for concert money because his deposit was delayed. It wasn't delayed. He spent it partying. That was the beginning. Tiny, harmless requests. Groceries. Electric bills. Emergency car repairs. Streaming subscriptions added without asking. I kept telling myself it was temporary. That they'd bounce back. That good kids don't keep track. But I did keep track quietly. A spreadsheet hidden in my notes app. 3 years later, the math was brutal. Bills I covered. Insurance I paid. Utilities I rescued. Subscriptions I didn't sign up for. Random emergencies that were, at this point, routine. It averaged $1,500 every single month. I wasn't helping them anymore. I was sustaining them. While my savings stayed thin, their entitlement grew thicker. Thank you turned into about time. Can you help? Shifted into why isn't it here yet? Nothing was going to change until one moment did. Wrapped in spiderweb cracks and neon orange Cheeto dust. Part 3. The laptop and the threshold. The breaking point didn't show up like a blowout fight. It arrived as a broken screen. My broken screen. I had spent 8 months saving for that machine, custom-build Ryzen chip, RTX card, keyboard smooth enough to feel unreal. My tool, my escape, my pride. One Friday, Colby asked to borrow it. Said he needed it for urgent freelance logo work. Promised it would be back in a weekend. He returned it 3 weeks later. The screen was shattered. Dead pixels spiderwebbing outward. One USB port hung crooked. The spacebar was glued down with grime. And the whole keyboard was dusted in bright orange. Cheetos. Obviously. What happened? I asked. He shrugged. A real shrug. Accidents happen, he said, then added. You can replace it. You make good money. Something inside me didn't explode. Just froze. Not anger. Not hurt. Clarity, sharp and steady. I told him to leave. He called me dramatic. Then selfish. Then slammed the door on his way out. I stared at that ruined laptop for a long time. At the damage, the entitlement, the careless disrespect. And that night, everything changed. I stopped replying to money texts. Stopped covering unpaid bills. Stopped rescuing crises disguised as emergencies. It didn't take long for them to notice. Mom said I was pulling away. Dad claimed I was forgetting my roots. Colby started posting cryptic quotes about betrayal, like he was living in a music video. But none of that compared to the favor he asked next. Late October. Nearly midnight. I was untangling a bug in a holiday animation when Colby called. He launched straight into his crisis. His landlord was targeting him. He was 2 months behind on rent. He needed a cosigner for a new lease. Just 6 months until I bounce back, he said. I asked how much he owed. He danced around it, then finally admitted it. 2 full months missed eviction incoming. He still managed to act like he was the one being wronged. I told him no. He reacted like I'd delivered a death sentence. Called me cold. Said he'd end up on the street. Said I'd carry the guilt. But I didn't budge. That one refusal, the first real one, felt like something unlocking inside me. And the moment it clicked, everything else started shifting with it. If this were your life, what would you do? Echoes of life wants your call. Comment 1 to keep the peace quietly. Comment 2 to cut the cord even if it snaps loud. Because once I said no, the quiet that followed didn't hold. It never does with people who rely on your silence to survive. Sam, my best friend, sometimes my moral compass, looked at me over steaming noodles. They're going to lose their minds, he said. He wasn't wrong. We planned anyway. A full reset. 17 ties to sever. Not metaphors, actual lines I've been supporting for years. Monday at lunch, I sat in my Civic with a sandwich in one hand and my phone in the other and started slicing through all of it. First, every credit card, every authorized user removed. A new number issued. All automatic payments wiped clean. Then Verizon. 3 phone lines under my name. Colby's. Gone. Mom's. Gone. Dad somehow had a plan with international calling. Also gone. Next were streaming accounts: Netflix, Hulu, Disney, Spotify, YouTube. Logged out of every device. Done. Insurance. I called the rep. Had Colby removed. She actually laughed. That'll save you $92 a month, she said. Utilities, deleted my card. No warning. No explanation. Just silence, my silence finally working for me. By the time I finished, every thread had been clipped. Clean. Mom called first, voice shaking. What happened to our phones? Set up your own accounts, I said. She cried. I hung up. Dad texted next. The internet's dead. Fix it. It's yours to fix, I replied. Colby left a rant in my voicemail. I deleted it mid-sentence. Sam showed up with whiteboards. Thanksgiving showdown? He asked. No, I said. Christmas. He raised an eyebrow. Cold. Exactly. Christmas morning arrived sharp enough to cut. I parked on the street, carried a warm pie, walked the familiar path. Dad opened the door already flushed with anger. No smile. No hello. Just a command. Kitchen. Now. I followed. Mom behind him. Colby leaning in the doorway like he paid rent on the drama. Dad got straight to it. You're turning everything back on. Today. No, I said. Even. Clear. Unshakable. Mom tried guilt first. We can't afford all new accounts. You weren't affording the old ones, I said. Dad jabbed a finger into my chest. We raised you. You owe us. That's when I pulled out my phone, opened my spreadsheet, and turned the screen toward them. 3 years. $43,000. Color-coded. Receipts, dates, names. All of it. Mom's face drained. Dad stuttered. Colby muttered something ugly under his breath. I set the phone down gently. I'm done paying, I said. Not today. Not ever. That was the moment Christmas actually blew apart. I thought that was the worst of it. It wasn't. The week after, my phone went dead quiet. Too quiet. Sam said the silence was a setup. He was right. It started with a fraud alert. A random Tuesday. I was tweaking snowfall patterns for a winter patch when my bank pinged me. Suspicious activity detected. Someone was trying to use the card I'd canceled. Gas station. Grocery store. Gaming shop. All in Beaverton. All right near my parents' house. My stomach dropped. I checked my actual account. $4,000 gone yesterday. 83 more today. 6 ATM withdrawals. Back to back. All drained. The daily withdrawal limit. That was the clue. Whoever emptied my account knew my PIN. And then it hit me like a punch to the chest. Last year, Colby borrowed my car. My wallet stayed in the center console. 6 hours. 6 entire hours alone in my car. Plenty of time to memorize a card number. Plenty of time to watch me type my PIN on some long-forgotten errand. My hands trembled when I called the police, but my voice didn't waver. Detective Barnes listened without interrupting as I laid everything out. Dates, withdrawals, the spreadsheet I'd been keeping for years. 3 years. $43,000 gone. His eyebrows rose. "We'll request the footage," he said. 2 days later he called me back. They had everything. The ATM cameras caught him crystal clear. Colby, card in hand, staring directly into the lens. No mask, no panic, no shame. Just entitlement carved into his face like it belonged there. He denied it at first. Then he shifted the story, said I'd given him permission, said it was some kind of loan. Barnes didn't buy a second of it. That night my phone lit up. "Mom. Honey, the police came." "What did you do?" "I reported a crime," I said. "You'll ruin his life," she whispered, devastated. "He ruined mine," I replied. Then I blocked her. Dad followed up with 3 voicemails, all threats and guilt. I saved them for evidence. 12 days later the bank refunded every penny. Colby took a plea deal, probation, restitution, community service. No jail. Not yet. He posted online about being betrayed. Relatives pretended to be horrified. Sam wanted to clap back with screenshots. I told him to leave it alone and let the truth sit in silence. Then a letter arrived. My parents' handwriting. An itemized bill for $9,000. Lawyer's bail. Family support for Colby. At the bottom, "We know you can afford it." Sam read the letter, snorted, then drafted his own invoice. $43,000 itemized, signed and sent back, complete with a photo of the spreadsheet. Dad called instantly. Sam answered. "If you push this," Sam said calmly, "I will post every detail." Silence followed. The calls stopped. The pressure stopped. The guilt stopped. For a moment it felt over. But consequences don't always hit like a hammer to the skull. Sometimes they fall slowly, quietly, like snow piling on a roof until the beams groan. 3 months after the plea deal, Colby slipped again. Missed community service. Drove with a suspended license. Got pulled over. The judge wasn't gentle. 60 days in county. Probation extended. Restitution enforced. Mom and Dad didn't show up. Not once. Just me and Sam in the back row of the courtroom watching accountability finally land. I didn't cheer. I didn't cry. I didn't feel anything except finished. Like I had finally set down a weight I'd carried alone for years. When he got out, the restitution payments started. $50 a month. Automatic. Every 30 days, my name would appear on his statements for the next decade. Sam held, laughing. "He has to pay you for 10 years. I just shrugged. "It's accountability," I said. "Not revenge." Part 6. The Life After Rewritten. And life moved again. Slowly. Warmly. In my direction this time. Work promoted me. Money finally stayed in my account. Sam and I built an indie game. Harper joined. A real team, a real shot. Then one night, a year after everything blew up, we made the decision. We'd quit our studio. Start our own. Build something that belonged to us. We toasted with cheap drinks, laughing too loud, covering the table in colorful sticky notes full of dreams. Around midnight my phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. Colby. His message was short. No excuses. No requests. "I'm sorry for everything. I hope you're okay." I read it twice. Then I blocked the number. Forgiveness doesn't require access. As I turned off the lights, a simple truth settled in my chest. Walking away didn't shatter me. It liberated me. Because peace isn't about who you hold on to. It's about who you stop caring. And if this story found you, hold on. There's more life coming. More truth. More quiet strength. Echoes of Life continues.